Execution by a firing squad. I believe this is the first time that this happened. Execution by a firing squad. It's freaking crazy. I believe that this is the first time this has happened in over, I think, 35 years. We're going to go ahead and check out the news clip from NBC.
A metal chair, a hood over his head, and a target over his heart. That is how death row inmate Brad Sigmund is set to be executed on Friday, a death by firing squad.
Brad is aware of what the firing squad will do to him. He knows it's going to break his bones. He knows it's going to destroy his organs. But the alternative is potentially an excruciating 20-minute death.
Sigmund was convicted of first-degree murder for killing his ex-girlfriend's parents with a baseball bat in 2002. Sigmund's lawyer, Bo King, says he believes the firing squad.
All right, quick question for y'all, man. If you guys, this is for scenario's sake, if you were on death row and you had three options to be executed, the electric chair, lethal injection, or a firing squad, what would you pick? Put it in the comments and why.
Offers fewer unknowns than lethal injection.
The protocol contains none of the information about the drugs that you would want to know before making the choice. It doesn't tell you what their expiration date is. It doesn't tell you their potency. It doesn't tell you how they're stored. That's the information that Brad has asked for repeatedly, and that's the information that the state refuses to provide.
According to South Carolina's Department of Corrections, the state's last 3 executions by lethal injection lasted more than 20 minutes. But the state says the condemned were unconscious for most of that time.
Bro, that's torture. Taking 20 minutes to die. And they're probably just putting all types of poison in their body to where, like, dang, bro, just imagine. It's got to be excruciating, dog.
Sigmund's lawyers say a state autopsy revealed excruciating conditions.
What's good, man? It's your boy, E.I. the King, and this is the Incarceration Podcast, where I talk about prison, pre, post, and present, how everything that I experienced throughout my incarceration has forever changed my life. This is the Incarceration.
All right, good afternoon. This is State of Florida versus Stephen Testo with multiple cases before the court.
Forever Convict family, listen, we are on a journey to 50,000 subs. We are over halfway there. So if you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Share this channel with anybody who enjoys prison content. And if you don't know my story, I've done over 12 years in prison. And all throughout my incarceration on this channel, I share the crazy, funny, goofy, weird prison stories, as well as interviewing other convicts and sharing their stories as well. But most importantly, we highlight the redemptive stories of convicts coming home, leaving their past lifestyle of crime, and now living successfully in society.
Inmates' lungs filling with liquids, an experience critics say is akin to waterboarding. The state says it's followed its protocols precisely.
What we know from the firing squad is that a death by firing squad happens almost immediately. It doesn't mean it's not going to be painful. But lethal injection is absolutely painful, as we're now coming to realize. It just takes longer.
Some legal experts say secrecy laws, like South Carolina's and common among death penalty states, hide issues with lethal injection.
One of the reasons Brad Sigmund says that he's choosing execution by firing squad is that he feels he does not have enough information from the state about their lethal injection protocol. How does that work?
I would not assume that the states know what they're doing. The states are using secrecy to hide what lethal injection is from A to Z. They can't get the drugs that they need to inject. They can't get the qualified medical personnel that they need. And all too often, they can't access the prisoner's vein. The closer we look, the more we know about.
Hold up. What does she mean they can't get the qualified personnel, like the medical staff? So I wonder if it's like the Department of Corrections staff that's doing this. And anybody who's ever done time, you already know. No offense to any administration. I'm not trying to be negative, but everybody who's done time knows that. And shout out to all the doctors and nurses and all the people who are putting in hard work to really help people who are incarcerated. But I know from personal experience, if you've been locked up from personal experience, you already know that a lot of times, bro, 85% of the times, man, the medical staff are not only like, even though they may be certified, but they can just be negligent, dog. I can't even tell you the countless times I've gotten my blood taken and they just poked me with a needle repeatedly because they couldn't find my veins. You know what I mean? And I got like big poking out, protruding veins. And it's just the lack of experience and the lack of professionalism, man. So just imagine that not being a real certified, like, medical personnel, and it's just like an officer or prison staff trying to inject this guy. Man, that's crazy.
These execution protocols, the more problematic they are.
South Carolina could not obtain lethal injection drugs for years until it shielded its suppliers with a secrecy law in 2023.
Drug manufacturers would not furnish South Carolina with the lethal drugs.
You unashamed about all that time you did? Go ahead and grab your Forever Convict tee, where we're unashamed to share how our incarceration is what God chose to use to radically transform our life. And even though society may deem us as convicts, I'm not ashamed of what God used throughout that season of incarceration to make me to be the man who I am today. Forever Convict.
So once they said that, the only alternative was the electric chair.
Attorney Dick Hart-Pootlian was the state senator who introduced the bill to legalize the firing squad in 2021.
They'd have this choice, which I thought was more humane, until we could get a shield law.
South Carolina is not the only state turning to alternative methods to kill. Later this month, Louisiana will gas a prisoner with nitrogen, a method first tested by Alabama last year. The firing squad is legal in 4 other states, with Arizona now considering the same. All as multiple civil rights groups continue to oppose the death penalty altogether. And on Friday, just 3 media witnesses are expected to be in the room.
Suddenly the curtain opened and Mr. Gardner was already sitting in the chair.
All right, hold up. So death by nitrogen gas is insane. First of all, I didn't realize that there's that many states who still had the death penalty. They need to hurry up and eradicate the death penalty. And don't get me wrong, I understand that some people have committed some heinous things and they deserve to be in prison for the rest of their lives. And maybe even sometimes, bro, like people with these heinous crimes against children and women, you know, like maybe the death penalty is fitting, you know, but I think that a lot of times I hear these death penalties, you know, I don't think that it's universally deserving. But that's just the justice system in totality, man. It's not fair. But nitrogen gas is crazy.
Chair, and he's got this white square on his chest, like a target.
The firing squad was last used in the United States 15 years ago in Utah to execute Ronnie Lee Gardner. Reporter Jennifer Dobner was there.
So we heard like boom, boom, not just one single report. And like the target on his chest kind of blew up, the fabric kind of blew up. And then it was really, really quiet after that. And the medical examiner came out about 2 minutes later and pronounced him dead.
And that's the fate that awaits.
I also have a fire HBO style series chronologically going over my prison experience from day one, all throughout my 12 years in prison. But you got to become a member to this channel. If you're on desktop, that's the only way you can do it. If you're on a mobile phone, you got to do it through Safari, or you got to go to your internet app and become a member. Check out a brief clip right here. It's not directly addressing me. It's not directly addressing anybody. He's just saying it loudly about all the new people. And we weren't the only new people who came in that day. There's people who came in before us. But I'm thinking still he's going to be the one that tries me. So he goes and he sits down, and I'm sitting on the bench, and all of a sudden someone approaches me. I'm sitting on the outside of the bench, and someone stands right over me.
Zinclea Samoa, NBC News.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News.
Yo, the fact that she was kind of smiling when she recounted that was kind of like sick. No offense if I'm like misinterpreting her facial expressions, but. And the witnesses who want to watch that, I mean, maybe like I understand if it's like the victim's family, but it's like random people who just want to watch somebody be put to death. It's kind of weird if they like allow just random people in there. I know they said only like 3 people, maybe they said media, I think. But yeah, so back to the death sentence. Number one, it needs to be eradicated. But if I was or you were, you know, for scenario's sake, we're in that situation, man, I think I would pick the firing squad too, bro. Because I definitely wouldn't want to be executed. I definitely wouldn't want to do no gas chamber. I definitely wouldn't want to do lethal injection. So the firing squad, I mean, honestly, bro, like, I think I would want to take myself out, to be honest. I mean, I know that's sad, it's terrible, but I don't know, bro. That's a hard situation to be in. That sucks to have to choose which way you die. But yeah, firing squad would probably be the way I want to go. And I'll be like, yo, don't shoot me in the heart, bro. Shoot me in the head. But this is sad, bro. It's sick. But this happened. This just happened the other day. So I just wanted to cover it. Once again, all the more need for prison reform. I believe the death sentence should be eradicated. And for all those who are facing time, who have done time, and just to everybody watching, man, may we remember and be motivated as we see things like this, not only to not live a lifestyle of destruction that reaps these consequences, but also too that we'll be an example of change that empower people not to go down that path. Remember, dog, our purpose and our fulfillment is only and truly found through faith in Christ Jesus. That's a fact. It's your boy, the King. This is the Incarceration Podcast. Y'all stay tuned for the next episode. Peace.
You didn't know, I am a rapper. My artist name is the King. Check out my music on all streaming platforms. Go to my other YouTube channel, the King. Check out my music videos. And I'm also releasing a documentary all year. It's really a docu-series. And every Wednesday, I drop a new video. As we've been documenting my transition home from prison and society, from the day of my release, we had a film crew at the gate just documenting my transition home from prison, now in society. Check it out on one of these links above.